So your materials you need are your thread and needle, ribbon. I use wired ribbon because it's a lot easier for me. It just kind of holds better. I have two ribbon. I have the wider ribbon and then the skinnier ribbon for in front of it. I just think it looks better that way. You can have as many layers. You can have 3, you could have 1. It just depends on what you like. And then scissors. So, I already have my ribbon cut. And for your ribbon, you want it about 30 to 32 inches for the widest one, if you're doing 2 layers. And then the skinnier one, you want to have about maybe 27 to 30. Just depends on what you like, or how big you want your bow. So I'm going to put that away, and we're going to start with the wider ribbon. And how you make the actual part of the bow is you take it and then you make a loop. So you have your loop like this. And then you take the other side and you make a loop with it also, coming around the front, coming back around the front. So you just have like a normal bow. And then you make another loop and go through over the back. And then you make your last loop coming over the front. Okay? And I will do that with the smaller one later in the video, if you didn't quite catch that. So, you take your needle and thread, and you kind of weave it back and forth in between, or in the middle of the bow. Kind of scrunch it together. And then you wrap the thread around the bow a few times. And then you go back through what you just circled around the bow, just to make sure it kind of stays together. And that's the first part of the bow. Now we have the first part of our bow. And now I'm going to make the smaller, thinner piece. So, once again, you make a loop. This one's going to be a little bit smaller. So, make a loop, and then you make another loop coming over the front. You make another loop going over the back. And then you come back over the front. Okay? So, let me redo that. Make your first loop. Then you take your second loop over the front. Then your third loop behind or on the back. Your fourth loop over the front. So you make your first loop, and then you come make your second loop and go over the front, and then you go over the back, and then come back over the front. So, then you take your needle again and do the same thing you did with the last time. Kind of crunch it in the middle with thread, and then wrap it around a few times and go back through. Now what I like to do at this point is just leave the thread on there and go ahead and just sew these two together. Or you could cut the thread and then sew them again. But this just kind of saves time in tying the thread, which I hate doing. You kind of wrap that around there a few times. And then you come back through and make a knot. And you have your bow. Okay. So, now we have to do the centerpiece. I'm tying it on an ornament, so I'm just going to go straight from the middle piece up into the little loop for the ornament to hang on the tree or whatever. So, what you do is you take it, and if it's just a bow, you just say it's this long. You're just going to have it tied right here, and you're just going to tie it or double knot it, and that's that. But if you're tying it on an ornament, you want to have the shorter side at the top of the bow, and if you have wired ribbon, you only have to tie it once. If you have just plain ribbon without the wire in it, you'll have to double knot it. Okay. Even though this is the shorter side, you still want it to have some length to it, so you can tie it onto the ornament. Okay, you take the shorter side and you put it through the loop of the ornament. So now we have it through the back side, the shorter side through the loop of the ornament. So now what you're going to do is you're going to tie it to the bottom of the long side. Like that. Okay, so here's the front. It's a little lopsided right now, but we can fix that. And here's the back. Okay, now you still have a little tail on the short side. And you take the long side and you tie it to the little what's left of the short side. If you can. If not, you can just tie it to itself at the bottom. Maybe. And there you go. You have your ornament.